Hello everyone and welcome to my channel. This pick a card is for connections in conflict or anybody who's in a relationship at the moment and you kind of want to get an inside scoop as far as what the heck is going on or what you should do. Basically, we're going to be looking at the above versus the below, the within versus the without, the surface level versus what's deep down. Okay, so I have 3 stacks on the table, or 3 cards on the table. If you hadn't had a chance to meditate on a stack or a card as of yet, please go to the very beginning of the video. Everything is timestamped there. You can pause where you need to, take as much time as you need to choose whatever you feel drawn to the most. If during that time you feel led to pick more than one, by all means, go ahead and listen to your intuition. That's always encouraged here. These readings are timeless, so whether you watch at the upload time or several months down the road, years down the road, doesn't really matter. It's whenever you feel that nudge to watch and it's placed into your awareness, you may have a message there for you. And I always say, you know what, if nothing connects for you in this reading, perhaps maybe feel free to check out my pick a card playlist, because I have other pick a card readings to choose from. There may be something else that would connect better for you instead. And if I'm not the reader for you, that's okay too, because YouTube's full of so many other readers out there. I'm pretty sure there's someone who has the messages that you're looking for this time around. Keep in mind that these readings are general. I don't expect them to connect or apply to everybody watching. So many of you have different walks of life and are experiencing different things. It's almost impossible to connect with everyone, so keep that in mind when you're watching. And if something doesn't fit, also, please don't make it fit. It could be that the reading may just not be for you. So, also with love readings, there might be tidbits that connect more about your person, other things that might describe you versus them, that kind of thing. So things can be very interchangeable, vice versa, and flip-flopped. So whenever you're watching a love reading, also just keep that in mind. Okay, so with all that being said, I'm going to move this out of the way and we're going to get directly into stack number 1. Stack number 1, viewers, you chose the house, and I will incorporate that into the reading the further we go along. So in case you're wondering how this reading works, basically, we're going to be looking at the above versus the below, the within versus the without. So basically things that are surface level versus things that are maybe underneath the surface in your situation with your person. Perhaps that, maybe we can get an inside scoop on what that all looks like. Because sometimes surface level things may not really be the reality of what it is underneath the surface. So let's say if your person, has hidden feelings, that would be the below versus what they show you, surface level. So with this, how I'm going to get the cards for this is basically, we're going to take from the top for the above. All right, so you'll get a couple cards for the above, and then we'll pull 2 cards for the below, and that's how I will read the spread. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into this. All right, so we're going to be looking at the above and the below in regards to your person, the within versus the without. Now I'll also do the same thing with the romance angels to help get a little bit more detail in regards to the situation. All right, let's see. For the above, we have the 10 of Cups, we have the Page of Wands, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. For the below, we have the, what is that? Oh my gosh, wait, there's 2 10 of Cups. Okay, I didn't realize there was a second one in here. The Hangman and the Hermit. All right, so interesting. I don't recall that the Tattooed Tarot, which is this deck, actually having 2 10 of Cups. But the 10 of Cups makes sense to me in this position for the simple fact that we have the house. I mean, it makes sense to me that it's shown up because we have the house. The house oftentimes will talk about like family, where you feel secure, where you feel safe. Sometimes it can talk about marriages and your foundation in a situation. So as far as the above, it does feel like there's a long-term commitment here. Obviously, we have the 10 of Cups emphasized twice. There is a long-term commitment here, maybe a house, a home, a family, a life partner energy here that I'm picking up. There is love here, but it feels like there's a need to communicate, or maybe there has been some communication with the Page of Wands could be Leo, Aries, Sagittarius that you're dealing with. There's some maybe communication that has been had, surface level. Maybe you've had a good talk. All right, pages deliver messages, and they're learners, they're students of life. So it feels like there's been some recent communication in your connection or in your relationship that has maybe enlightened you or your person to some things. And maybe I'm feeling like an understanding that needs to be had. And I guess I'm getting that feeling from the holding of hands. So maybe you've done some hardcore communication, but it's one that's trying to put you on the right path toward perhaps understanding one another. The Wheel of Fortune is an energy of shift and change. So something has changed in that dynamic. Something has changed maybe even in the communication style between you and your person. Again, if you've had that conversation, I think that conversation has set the tone for something, and it's shifting things in a different direction. The Wheel of Fortune is an energy of transition, change, and a lot of times, something has to fall off in order for something new to enter. So it kind of feels like there needs to be a resolution, or something in the connection between you, or the communication style, let's say, has to shift and change in order to put you on the right path towards the better. To me, the Wheel of Fortune is always trying to set you on the right path, even though it may be in ways that are slightly unconventional or not as anticipated. It can sometimes be something unexpected that just pops out of nowhere. So there might have been some form of communication that maybe happened that maybe one of you really wasn't anticipating, but nonetheless it came through. And because of that, it's put things on a different course. Okay. And sometimes with the Wheel of Fortune, you just have to let this situation ride itself out in order to see where it goes. So it kind of does feel like there's an in-between. You and your person in this connection kind of have one foot in the past, one foot in the future. And it's just a matter of time before you finally see where things are going. But I think the communication itself is what has set the tone for this shift and this change. Okay. Now, the house energy talks about stability, family, where you feel safe, where you feel secure. There might, I don't know why I'm getting the vibe, but there may be a questioning of, perhaps how you feel safe or secure in this connection. The kind of maybe communication that comes through to like identify where you want to go in this connection. So if there's been some kind of shift and change of the communication, it's more or less, it feels like to establish where this relationship is going. Because, what do they say? A house is a house, but you got to make a house a home, that kind of thing. And this is feeling like establishing the stability moving forward. And there's been a shift in that stability with that Wheel of Fortune. It's like trying to establish it is what this is feeling like between you and your person. So I don't know, with the recent planetary energies that we've been experiencing, there's been a lot of shifts in relationships, communication, things like that. It's kind of like deciding the path forward, or remaking the future, like restructuring the future path forward is kind of what I'm getting from this line. As far as the above, or what's surface level, what you understand, what you both see. Again, the house is all about your identity, who you are, what makes you you. So again, it's like establishing the identity of this connection, or what it means, the label, let's say, moving forward, is what this feels like up here. So there's been some kind of reconfiguration in that, and it's come in the form of some communication, I think, with the page. And it looks like it's opened you guys up to learn some things about each other. So as far as the below, we have the house 3 times in this card. We have it one here, we have it again here. So something about the home life, seems to be emphasized in this deck, and it seems really important. There is love here, I believe. Lots of it. There's the need to kind of just go with the flow, but nonetheless not lose sight of each other. So beneath the surface, I think you both really care about each other. There may be some issues that have to be worked out. Again, the idea of communication, in order to enlighten you about each other. And there has to be some self-reflection here going on, maybe on your part, maybe on their part, to really understand, you know, what to do in this connection, how to approach it moving forward. There's been, you know, a need for soul searching underneath the surface, self-reflection, maybe one of you taking a deep dive in regards to, you know, feelings, your thoughts, what you want from this connection, how you feel about it. But that's all very important. It needs to be had. It needs to be done. That's what this is feeling like, because when these two cards come up side by side, I mean, they're both major arcana, but the simple fact that the Hangman is a soul-searching card, the Hangman and the Hermit both are soul-searching energies, where it's like sometimes you gotta do the uncomfortable work within oneself in order to improve a situation, maybe even a relationship with the Ten of Cups, or level up on a personal level, right? Now, the Hermit energy is always going to be a little quiet. It's going to kind of isolate itself in order to find answers. So underneath the surface, it could be that maybe one of you feels kind of alone, or kind of isolating yourselves, trying to dig deep in order to figure out what is the right thing. Again, self-reflection. The Hangman is also an energy of looking at things from a different perspective. So maybe there's a need for you and your person to kind of look at things from a different perspective with the Hangman energy in order to really find enlightenment in regards to what it is that you guys are doing in this connection moving forward. So to me, if there's been some serious communication of a deep level, okay, especially with these two cards and the Page of Wands, if there's been some deep communication or communication on a deep level where it's like asking for you guys to kind of reevaluate things, look at things from every angle, it's needed in order to help the journey moving forward. Okay, so let's take a look to see if we can get romance angels for the above and the below as well. For you, stack number 1 viewers, let's see. Okay, I will take that for the above, and I'll stop and get a card from underneath for the below. All right, so let's take a look at the above. All right, so yeah, it's like keep an open mind. Your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. So it could be that you got to keep an open mind about the connection. Again, that communication is key. If you want to establish something solid for the future with that Ten of Cups, and you want to, or if not even establish it for the future, but more or less solidify it now, so that way it stands the test of time for the future, because it seems like there's something really solid already here with that Ten of Cups, and there's just really a necessity to just say what you need to say in order to shift things in the right direction. You got to keep an open mind, because it's like you might be different, they might be different, you might not always see things on the same page. Maybe they're, you know, as far as this energy says, your soulmate may differ from your usual type and expectations. Maybe you guys are really different. You know, sometimes opposites attract, but that doesn't mean that it can't be worked out. All right, so let's take a look at the below. Yeah, look, you deserve love. You are lovable. So even though you might have your differences, I feel, you know, you both, I think with this Ten of Cups here, the below, so this is in harmony with each other. The surface level is matching the interior, okay, in this connection. So there's love here above and below, within and without, okay? The love that's on the surface is there deep down too. So it's in sync. It's in harmony. It's in alignment. The love is in alignment is what this is telling me. But yeah, you deserve love. You deserve love that's, you know, going to stand the test of time. That's going to be something that is mutually desired and wanted, right? So if there was any I'm feeling a little bit of miscommunication underneath the surface here as far as the below or the within, and needing to really understand one another. And I kind of feel like somebody with this energy here just wants to know that they are loved by their person, and that their person's focus is highly upon them with the arrow here, okay? So I'm looking at that like, you know, there's a need for somebody to be assured or reassured that the focus is really on the love, and that the love is there, that it's mutual. And again, those deep dive conversations are a must, it feels like, in order for you to gain perspective on each other, and to have a deeper understanding of where this is going and how you feel about it mutually moving forward. So I really think this is special. I think that this right here, the fact that there's 2 tens of cups, I mean, when does that happen? I think, from what I understand, this card here was the indie version of the 10 of cups prior to this deck going mainstream. But I didn't realize that I never took one of them out. So that's kind of cool. And the fact that it showed up at the top and then this one showed up at the bottom, the energy as far as the love in this reading between you and your person, stack number 1, are very much in sync. Okay, you might have your differences. You might sometimes think differently, be on the same or different pages about things sometimes, but what's on the same page is the love. Okay, so the love is there. And that's really good to know. There's just a need, I think, with the Hangman for you and your person to kind of put each other in the other person's shoes once in a while, is what this is feeling like. So if you were debating whether the love was, sincere, this is kind of giving us the confirmation that it's solid. There's a foundation of stability here. There is love. There's just a need to really gain perspective, to understand where you both stand and what you both want mutually for the future. And just keep an open mind with one another too, is what I'm getting from this. So let's see if we can get a few cards. All right, there's one. Usually they all want to fall out, and today no. All right. All right, so there's one. I'm just going to pull from the middle. Let's see if we can get at least another one. Okay. Look inside yourself. Examine what it is causing you to feel this way. So yeah, exactly with the Hangman. There's like an internal introspection, self-reflection that needs to be had. Maybe you both are deep diving within yourselves as individuals in this connection. Look, new beginning, a new adventure awaits. Embrace it and live your life. Live your dreams and your life well, passionately. So yeah, it makes sense with the Wheel of Fortune here, as this new energy is trying to come in. Again, the idea of having one foot in the past, one foot in the future. Maybe there's some things in the past that need to be released and fully let go and healed in order to move into the new beginning. But it's just a matter of being, being on the same page as far as what you want mutually. I think is what going to carry this relationship forward. And I'm sorry if I'm like, my mind is not like really articulating properly. I haven't had coffee yet. So I'm struggling a little bit. But nonetheless, yeah, the Wheel of Fortune is telling us that you're in a energy of transition and change. You're on the brink of entering something new. And yeah, there is new energy awaiting you guys. All right. So if you're questioning the state of the connection in some way, this is basically saying, you guys are on the same page love-wise. It's just a matter of kind of reconciling your differences and getting to the root of what it is that you both want together. Look at that. Forgiveness. Stop focusing your energy on past events. There you go. The past is ready to be let go with the Wheel of Fortune. For life is too precious to waste. You create your reality by what you think, dream, and imagine. So yeah, I do think there is room for forgiveness here. There's definitely love within and without, right? So that's in sync, which is beautiful. So stack number 1, I'm going to leave you here. I wish you the very best. Be safe wherever you are. Because I know, like I've been saying, the world is crazy. We all see it. I just want to make sure everybody's safe and well and healthy. So be safe wherever you are. And if you feel that this reading has connected for you and helped you in some way, by all means, please do let me know in the comment section down below. And if you want to support this channel, just like, share, subscribe, click that bell for notification, so that way you never miss a video. And if you want to support this channel further, and you are interested in perhaps booking a personal reading with me, all you have to do is check me out on Etsy, see what readings I have available, and you can book a reading whenever you're guided to. So with all of that being said, stack number 1 viewers, much love to you, many, many blessings, and keep shining. Stack number 2, you chose the mushroom, and I will incorporate that into the reading as we go along. Just want to get everything on the table first. So if you're not familiar with how this works, this is a method that I use with my cards for myself personally, I just never really introduced it to the channel. But it's basically the above versus the below, the within versus the without. So we're going to take a look at your situation with your person. We'll look at things that are surface level, which is the above. We'll look at things that are underneath, which is the below or the within. Maybe even see if those things are on the same page. It might even indicate how people are feeling. Maybe some actions, things like that. So I'll shuffle the deck, and basically for the above, we'll grab a few cards, and for the below, I'm going to pull from the bottom. Okay, so that way you can see how that will look. All right, so let's get into it. And real quick, I am going to do the same thing with the Romance Angel. Okay, so let's go ahead and find out. Sack number 2 viewers, you and your person, the above versus the below, the within versus the without, surface level versus deep down, right? Okay. All right, so let's see for the above. Oh, wow, we have the Sun, we have the King of Cups, and we have the 2 of Swords. All right, so for the below, we have the, okay, 2 of Wands, so that's emphasized, the 2. We have the Page of Cups, and we have the World. Okay, interesting. So as far as the below, I'm sorry, I was about to say below. As far as the above, water sign energy is indicated here heavily. So somebody could be Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. We also have the Leo energy as well. With the Sun. So I'm looking at this like, as far as the above, you know, the Sun is all about success, illumination, maybe gaining enlightenment on something. So it could be that in the current situation with your person, there needs to be a decision, or there's some kind of stalemate maybe. But it feels like there's a need to gain perspective or enlightenment on something, maybe in regards to your feelings, in regards to love. Maybe you're both in this indecision period here with this 2 of Swords. And it's kind of needing to meditate on the situation, because it kind of feels like somebody doesn't really know where they're going or what to do in the connection. That's why the 2 of Swords is here, because sometimes with this energy, if you don't know what to do, you just sit and do nothing until the answer just somehow arrives. We do have the Moon in the background, so that creates a little bit of uncertainty, lots of emotion. So it's kind of like getting to understand your emotions versus your thoughts, and maybe trying to reconcile those 2 things. Number 2 is emphasized here. You have 2, 2, and 2. So 2 as a number itself does talk about duality, balance, coupledom, partnerships, excuse me, partnerships. So definitely the energy of relationships is emphasized here. And I think the King of Cups, you know, with this depiction here, is kind of looking inward into the heart, getting in touch with the emotions, looking at themselves on the surface here, and trying to understand, right? And then the Sun comes in and kind of outshines the uncertainty of the Moon. So if there's something that you guys are worried about in this connection, it kind of feels like you're going to get an answer soon. It does feel like the blindfold is about to come off, and you're going to be able to see things clearly, whereas at the moment, perhaps you're not able to. And it could be that sometimes in the thick of a situation, you don't really see things clearly because you're in the middle of it. But it kind of feels like this will pass. All right, it will. We have the mushroom here. This also talks about, you know, in this deck, it's very specific. It talks about, you know, doubt, and we do have the Moon here, which does create a little bit of uncertainty. It does talk about doubt. It talks about vacillation, like doubting your own choices, sometimes worrying about making the wrong decision, a problem, a repetitive problem sometimes. So if in the connection with your person, you and your person have had like patterns that have repeated themselves, and the reason why that talks about, the mushroom talks about this, is because a lot of times mushrooms, you know, they do pop up after a rain, and no matter how many times you try to get rid of them on your lawn, let's say, they always find a way to pop back up. And it's one of those things that it's sometimes a repeat problem. So if there have been repetitive issues in the connection that perhaps have just popped up or, continually resurfaced. That would explain the mushroom energy. Not only that, sometimes the mushroom can talk about failure, even though I'm not sure why in this deck. It doesn't really explain why they use that definition for this card, but nonetheless, maybe there have been some failures in the connection, or maybe some part of it feels like it's failed. But nonetheless, it's like little issues that keep popping up in the connection. It could be something simple as, reoccurring disagreements and, things like that. But it does feel like surface level here. There's a need to really sit and think. What are we doing here? Where are we going with this? There has to be a decision here. I think there's lots of love here, but there's a need to look inward, to kind of I'm hearing the vibe of like recapture that love and expose the love that's there with the sun, because the sun always exposes the dark. So shed light. It's like shed light on the love that's there. Maybe get out of this stalemate. There's plenty of it to go around. The cup is full. It's overflowing with this King of Cups energy. And the King of Cups energy usually doesn't have a problem expressing emotion and feeling it thoroughly and understanding what it wants when it comes to love and relationships. So it kind of feels like there's an indecision, maybe how to express it, maybe if you even want to express the love. But there's definitely a need to shed light on the love that's there and come to some sort of conclusion or agreement where you get out of this stalemate energy. All right, surface level. And the sun is ready to shine light on a situation, expose it, and kind of bring happiness and joy to any given situation. But it sometimes with this energy, these two cards together, kind of feels like the indecision or the uncertainty of the connection sometimes overshadows the good energy that wants to enter. And someone needs to also open up their eyes to the love that's there. Okay. Maybe someone's not seeing it. Or maybe someone's not seeing in the midst of the little things that keep popping up, like the mushroom, right? Problems that keep popping up and the doubts. They're not seeing it in the midst of the doubts, right? And also if there's a decision, again, the fear of making the wrong choice in the connection, maybe. Some of you might be at a crossroads or at a debate or debating the connection in your head. With the Two of Swords, we also have the crossroads here underneath the surface. So underneath the surface, maybe there's been an ultimatum, maybe there's been a crossroads, and there's a need to decide the journey or the path with your person. The Page of Cups is definitely an expression of love, a message of love, and ready to kind of, I guess, share, verbally express. That's kind of the vibe I'm getting from this. There's a need to verbally express. Underneath the surface, there is love here. And it's ready to kind of grow up, is what I'm feeling. Because we have a Page of Cups, and this is a progression from a page to a king. Right? Underneath the surface, as far as the love, the below, right, in this connection, it still feels like love still has the potential to grow and become mature. It might have already been established surface level, but there's still some growing up to do in regards to the love underneath it all. Okay. Pages are learners. They are students of life. They have lessons yet to be learned. So deep down, this is feeling the within. It's feeling like there's still some lessons to be learned in regards to this love. And this energy here wants to choose a path, and if there's a big decision to make, you might have to choose, whether you want to stay in this connection or you want to go, or split ways, right? You could always take the journey on one path together, or split ways. So it could be underneath the surface, the below, the within. Someone is debating whether they want to continue this journey together or apart. That's a possibility, because we do have the world here. And although the world is a very successful energy, it can also sometimes talk about a chapter being closed or the lesson being completed in that situation. And it's a leveling up and a graduation, because that lesson has been learned and therefore applied. And there's new energy trying to enter. So it could be that some of you have decided maybe you've already learned your lesson with your person. There's nothing more to learn here in this connection. Decide to move on. Or it could be that maybe, there's still things to be learned with this person and you choose to forge or continue the path with them. So that way maybe you could both level up together. All right, so let's find out with the romance angels, the above and the below as well. I do feel that there is a debate here as far as where to go or how to proceed forward in the connection. We have the twos emphasized. So let's see, above and below for stack number 2 in this connection or the situation with your person. All right, the above. Okay, so there is a commitment here. Some of you might be debating the commitment or marriage. The wedding card, it says the situation involves marriage or commitment in general, right? Maybe you guys are debating somebody's commitment level as well. That's a possibility with that 2 of Swords, debating somebody's commitment level, debating maybe somebody's love for you. That's a possibility too. Let's see the underneath. All right, so there's a need to make the effort in this connection, right? And underneath the surface, okay, instead of forging paths apart from each other, it could be that, the connection is strong here with the wedding energy, and there's just a need to make a mutual effort, right? Great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So I think that there really is a strong possibility that if you guys can get on the same page here, all right, you still have some things yet to learn from each other, but you both can evolve and grow from it underneath the surface. There is a lot of potential for that, but you both have to make the effort, right? Because great love is worth taking the steps you're guided to take. So I feel like the love is worth salvaging here. So if some of you are in debate mode, whether you want to stay or whether you want to go, or whether the love is worth keeping or holding on to, this is saying that yes, it is. Despite the failures, the ups and downs, the little issues that keep popping up that might make you question the connection in some way, both above and below looks good. So it's still looking very promising. If there was a disparity, between the surface versus what's underneath, if it was very conflicting, I'd be probably a little bit worried. But it does look like, again, you have 2 energies of success with the Sun and the World. The love is definitely here, yet there's still some things to learn. And it does feel like there is a path to take where it's possible to take it together. So I would say maybe stack number 2, people, maybe don't give up quite yet on your person. It kind of does feel like there's still yet some things to learn together, but nonetheless, it can be secure for the future here with the wedding energy. Maybe you guys are married already, or just in a lifelong commitment, or maybe you have prospects of marriage with your person. Maybe you want to be married. Maybe that's what the debate is, whether you should be married. Maybe a marriage proposal was offered, and that's perhaps the debate. Maybe you're not sure if it's a good idea, because maybe, again, with the mushroom, you've had your issues with each other. But if the love is real and sincere, this is saying it's worth making the effort. And also talking about it, because the page itself is an energy of communication. So there's a need to express, like I said. Okay, there's another one. Okay. All right, it says, close your eyes and tell yourself that you deserve to feel joyful. You can allow joy into your life regardless of the circumstances you currently find yourself in. So if in the connection at the moment things are not the greatest, this is basically saying just try to focus on the good versus, the negative. But it says, deep in your heart, you already know the answer. Do what feels right. So some of you already know what you want from this connection moving forward, and do what feels right to you, right? Intuitively. It says, beware of what you're projecting, for the qualities you admire in one another are both qualities you possess. Equally so, the qualities you don't like are also your own reflection. So you guys could be doing a lot of mirroring with each other. With the twos here, I could definitely see that. So mirroring back and forth with one another is maybe also causing that internal versus external debate of where this connection is going. But nonetheless, again, love here. There just needs to be some light shed on the situation, so that way you can understand, see, communicate better, perhaps, express love better, perhaps. But nonetheless, it does feel like the love is real, and there's just a need to make a mutual effort with one another. Maybe get out of that stalemate if that's what you guys are in. With the non-action card here, surface level, some of you might not really be talking that much. Because the two of swords is one of those energies that is like sometimes a quiet card. So it could be that for some of you guys kind of aren't really talking that much. But underneath the surface, there's still a desire to communicate with the page, because pages deliver messages, okay? And kind of bring things full circle with the world. Some of you could be debating whether to communicate or not, if that's a good idea or not. If you're not currently in talking mode or in contact. So stack number 2 viewers, I'm going to leave you here. I hope you are safe wherever you are. Please be well and take care of yourselves. If you feel that this has helped or connected for you, by all means, please do let me know in the comment section down below. To support this channel, like, share, subscribe, and click that bell for notification as well, so you don't miss a video. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, all my information is in the description box down below. All you have to do is check me out on Etsy, see what readings I have available, and you could book a reading with me at any time. So send you much love and blessings wherever you are. Take care again and keep shining. Stack number 3, you chose the bell, and I will incorporate that into the reading the further we go along. Just to let you know how this reading works, this is a above versus below, a within versus without reading. Basically surface level, what's underneath and what's underneath. So when I shuffle the deck for the above, I'm just going to take the top cards, and then for the below, I'm going to just take the bottom cards, and that's how I will read the spread. Okay, so let's go ahead and get right into this. Again, this is looking at the surface versus what's underneath deep down in regards to the situation with your person, the above versus the below, the within versus the without. All right, so let's see if we can get some insight here for you, stack number 3 viewers, in regards to you and your person. This is a spread that I actually use for myself personally. Never tried it on the channel before, so I hope you guys like it. Let's see, stack number 3, above so below, with you and your person, the within versus the without, the surface versus what's deep down. Okay. All right, so above we have the Page of Swords, 2 of Cups, and the 6 of Pentacles. Underneath, we have the Temperance, we have the Queen of Wands, and we have the Strength. Okay. And then I'm going to grab these the same way, okay? But let me start with the tarot first. So as far as the above, it looks like there's maybe been some communication with the Page of Swords, right? Maybe some truth has been spilled or come out. Maybe something that also has been discovered and needed to be talked about. So maybe you've had recent conversations with your person. It could also be that maybe, I mean, this card always talks about spying, so maybe you discover something about them that way, possibly, or vice versa. But nonetheless, this is all about communication, delivering a message. Sometimes it's a message that is kind of sharp, but needed to be had. Maybe something has been said, might not have been pretty, but still needed to be said, because there's truth with this energy. So there has to be some truth spoken. So it feels like, there has been something said, discussed, kind of laid out there, maybe even discovered, maybe also some understanding or revelation that has been had. With that Page of Swords, this is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, so maybe that's you, maybe that's them. We also have Leo, Aries, Sagittarius as well here, so somebody could be fire sign, but if it's not you, then it's them somewhere in the chart. But nonetheless, despite the fact that there's been some open communication, I feel, or something that's been learned within the connection, there is a bond here with this Two of Cups. Okay, there's love here. There is a kindred spirit energy here between you. There is a bond as well. And this is an eye-to-eye connection. Maybe the communication had to be had in order for you to be on the same page. This Six of Pentacles is also saying that surface level, the above, there's reciprocity here. So the feeling with the Two of Cups and the Six of Pentacles is mutual. You both love each other. You might have some, words to share with one another that aren't always the prettiest. But if they're spoken in truth and with integrity, right, then maybe it's what's necessary. So I kind of feel like you've had an open, honest communication or conversation. This energy is saying, maybe you finally found where you are on the same page. Maybe, again, that conversation was needed in order to usher in balance and harmony within the relationship, because we do have that six, and number six does talk about balance, harmony, reciprocity, returning to a place of balance where at one time maybe there was imbalance. So again, if that conversation was had or that discovery was made, it was needed in order to put you guys on the same page, to understand where your energies both lie. But what can't be disputed is the Two of Cups is there, and there's a lot of love, and there's a strong connection and soulmate bond there. I think, if anything, the Page of Swords energy, again, that idea of discovery, may have to do with the bell, because the bell itself is an awakening, right? And the bell indicates a warning or an alert of some sort, making you aware of something. So again, that communication might have made you aware of what was needed in order to be on the same page with one another. The bell also indicates, the beginning or the end of something, the start or the end of something. Like, think about a school bell, how, the school bell rings to let you know school started. That kind of thing. And also the bell can ring when, class is dismissed. So it's that kind of thing where it's like the beginning and the end. So I think if anything, you guys are in the midst of a transition with one another. Maybe what it's feeling like here, surface level above, basically getting you guys on the same page. So if there was something discovered or said, it was needed in order to put you on the same page. To alert you to the issues in the connection. And that way you could talk about them openly and speak the truth authentically. Underneath the surface here, as far as the below or the within, there's a need for healing. Again, we have more energy of finding balance with one another with the Temperance energy, healing. This is a hidden Two of Cups as well. So it's about finding solutions. So there's a desire to find a solution. And I feel with the Page of Swords, maybe the solution is communication. So the Temperance is that energy where it's going to find a happy medium. It's going to find equilibrium. It's going to heal. So there's a desire underneath the surface of it all, the below or the within. There's a desire to heal this connection and rekindle that passion with that Queen of Wands. So it does feel like, there's motivation here. There's passion here with the Queen of Wands. She's not a quitter. She's a fighter. She doesn't give up. So if you have the stamina of the Queen of Wands deep down to keep fighting for this connection, keep fighting for this love, and to give your all to it in order to help heal it, then there's a good potential here, I feel. And then the strength is all about, you have to have the strength, the stamina, the fortitude deep down. And if you feel that you do, which it looks like here you may, there can be a serious healing in this connection. I think the communication has to be had, though, if it hasn't already. The strength energy is also Leo. So lots of fire energy represented here as well. And the Temperance is Sagittarius. I almost forgot. So we have a lot of fire energy going on here. Leo, Sagittarius, and Queen of Wands, Aries, possibly Gemini, Libra, Aquarius here as well. So the infinity symbol here also indicates maybe having past lives with one another, having had just a really strong affinity for one another. So there's love, there's passion here, but there's also a need underneath the surface to kind of, I'm getting the vibe of like heal the shadow, heal the ego. sometimes with this energy, it does talk about that, taming the energies that are out of sorts and bringing them into balance. Again, the temperance. If you have the stamina, right? If you have the stamina deep down to help this relationship heal, you can find balance and equilibrium. It really can, by the looks of it. But you both have to be alert and aware to the issues with the bell and not let them fall aside. You know, when the issue comes up, it's like address it right away is kind of what I'm feeling from this. I don't think underneath the surface, I don't think there's definitely a desire to keep working on it with the Strength and the Queen of Wands, to keep working on the healing, to keep working on finding solutions, coming into agreement with one another. You know, the handshake is a very big symbol of being in agreement, and there has to be equal give and take. You know, if you could both agree to give it your all with the Six of Pentacles, there's no reason why it couldn't heal. I think deep down you both want that healing. You both want to find that balance and equilibrium. So let's see if we can get some cards here, as above, so below, for stack number 3. Viewers, in regards to the situation with your person. Okay. Above, we have trust. Okay. This situation is calling for you to have trust. And underneath, we have playfulness. So this is basically saying underneath the surface, there's a need to kind of like look on the bright side, right? Remember to enjoy each other's company. And deep down, you probably do. Deep down, you probably do enjoy being around one another. You have probably a good rapport with one another. You make each other feel good when you're around each other. You know, so that it's basically a need to recapture the romance. Deep down, there's a desire, excuse me, there's a desire to recapture the romance, it feels. And again, the feeling of not wanting to give up on the connection because, you know, there's passion here. There's obviously a soul connection here. There's attraction here. So maybe focus on the fun things, the good things in the connection. Because I think when you recapture your love and the friendship and the fun together and all the good together, you kind of realize, you know, yeah, we can get through this, right? Then we have the trust energy here. The situation is calling for you to have faith. So right away, you know, if it feels like there is faith in this connection, maybe you both trust or want to work on the trust with one another. Again, maybe there has been some trust issues, but there's a need to kind of work on that together and to have faith in the connection, maybe not to give up. Again, the stamina. If you have the stamina for it deep down, this is looking really hopeful. So it's just a matter of working on the trust issues, being aware of those issues, and then putting that effort into, you know, actually healing it, finding a resolution, solving it, being motivated towards each other, rekindling the spark, kind of with this energy here, rekindling the spark, being in agreement, being on the same page. Okay. And the Queen of Wands also has the sunflowers in her card. And this is an energy of success, right? She's not a quitter. She keeps pushing until she succeeds. So I think that this connection can have a successful resolution. If you guys agree with one another, agree to, I guess, settle your differences, right? Have trust that it can work out. Trust each other, really. There's a desire to trust each other, to want to work it out. Underneath the surface, there's a desire to kind of recapture the fun with one another. Sometimes this card, you know, can indicate that maybe some of the fun has been lost, right? And maybe there's a need to kind of get that back. Okay. So this says, passion, a magnetic and seductive quality surrounds you at present. Enjoy it. So there's still a lot of passion here in this connection. It says, let there be closeness between you, but always give each other space. Love never claims, it simply allows and gives. Absolutely. Again, if you've, had maybe a little bit of an issue, at the Page of Swords is kind of indicating that there might have been some communication issues. Maybe, again, if it can be resolved with the trust. You got to kind of trust the situation, trust each other. And again, if you have your disagreements, give each other some space, allow it to kind of do what it needs to do. You don't want to force an issue either, right? Yeah, look at that balance. Love is not always about agreeing just for the sake of it. A great relationship is one that both supports and challenges, okay? So again, there's the balance energy. We have it twice with the Temperance, and we have it again with the Six of Pentacles. So yeah, I mean, there's definitely love here. You guys probably aren't always going to be in agreement with each other. Maybe you do need to give each other space every once in a while, but at the same time, there's a need to kind of talk about the bigger issues, get those off on the table, hash it out, do what you got to do, say what you got to say, but find a way back to that understanding. I guess this mutual understanding is what's definitely wanted surface level, and I can see it here deep down as well. So coming into some form of understanding, but at the same time, that finding that understanding is going to bring balance, but at the same time, maybe to give each other space in the meantime. And that's okay. You don't want to hover over anybody either. And there's a desire to recapture the passion, the happiness, the good times. If some of that's been lost, maybe there's potential to rekindle it. And when issues come up, kind of just address them right away is kind of what I'm getting from the bell. So stack number 3, I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to wish you, safety, well-being, and protection wherever you are in this world. I wish you the very, very best. If you feel that this has helped or connected for you, by all means, please do let me know in the comment section down below. Also, if you want to support this channel, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and click the bell for notifications so you don't miss any videos. And if you want to book a personal reading with me, all my information is in the description box down below. It's just a matter of checking me out on Etsy, seeing what readings I have available, and you can book a reading whenever you're guided to. So much love and blessings to you. Take care, and I will see you soon.